there's no doubt that we are at a global crossroad in the ability of humans to survive and thrive in cities for generations to come. We have a lot of threats against our health, our well-being. So cities will be different in the future from how they are today, because we have to take a leap in how we plan and design cities for the future. We have massive technological advances today. We have major environmental crises facing us, and in order to meet those challenges head-on for the future well-being of humans, we need to take a very different approach to cities of the future. And I think one of those approaches is that cities of the future have to be climate positive cities. They have to have major considerations to not create greenhouse gas emissions and CO2 emissions that are continuing to contribute to climate change. And every dimension of the way we plan and design cities needs to be rethought from that lens. And certainly in terms of opportunities, we know that there are global best practices that exist around the world for sustainable, smart urban development. We know that there's new technology that can be applied for that kind of city building. So India, with the right vision and the right commitment and the right leadership, has the opportunity to adopt and learn from those global best practices and bring them into the future city building initiatives that are underway. So the opportunity that is in front of India is to be the next world leader in how it plans and designs its cities on the horizon. So that's one opportunity. Another opportunity is to look at investing in climate positive city building. So to do that, we need to look at major investments in district energy systems, for example, based on renewable energy, as well as major investments in transit systems and creating and designing places that are built around people and not cars. I think those are huge opportunities and challenges. Another major challenge and opportunity would be to look at divesting in roads and highways and investing instead in transit systems and in walkable design for cities of the future as well. Well, I've been thinking a lot about this question. As I mentioned earlier, we are facing a global crisis in the ability for humans to survive and thrive in cities for generations to come. So the way I look at those quality of life factors is I take us back to first principles. And when we look at city building from a first principles perspective, the question becomes, what is it that humans need to not only survive, but to thrive in cities for generations to come? We take this long-term lens. And when I've been asking myself and contemplating that question, I think there are 7 key determinants to that. And first of all, we need a safe place to sleep at night. So we need key housing. So housing that's available for all people, all income levels, in all stages of life is key. The second determining factor of our quality of life is our health. And for our health, we rely on clean air, clean water, and land to grow food. So that's another determination. A third factor is we need the ability to move around freely. So we have to have mobility and transportation systems that are unencumbered and allow us to move freely. We need to feel secure, so we need good governance systems and good decision-making systems to help with our security and our safety. We also need, for quality of life, an ability to contribute to society. So we need places for us to be employed and feel like we're giving back or making contributions. So the top 5 aspects of successful mixed-use development. The first I would say is that, again, taking it back to the idea that we need to be creating climate positive communities, the development needs to have elements of walkability. We need to design so that people will want to walk or cycle or use transit instead of take their cars. So that's critical. We also need to ensure with mixed-use development that you're putting people with the ability to live close to where they work, so that, again, we're reducing commute times, reducing the impact of greenhouse gas emissions on cities and on our climate. That's critical. Another element of mixed-use development is to have places for social connection and interaction. So designing streets in a way that people can connect with seating elements or small park areas where people can connect and interact, maybe areas for outdoor places and spaces. So social connection is key. And also ensuring that the mixed-use development is contributing to what's around it as well, the rest of the city, that it's tying together, it's contributing to the economy, it's meeting the needs of the businesses that would be part of the commercial element. And I would say another aspect of the mixed-use development is to ensure that there is a diversity of housing options for people. So there's housing for people at different income levels included as well. The potential for sustainable urban development in India is very unique, and it's very powerful. India has a massive challenge with urbanization and growth ahead of it, and there is an enormous amount of lessons learned and best practices around the world that India has at its fingertips to not only take on those global best practices and learn from the successes of other places, but also to learn from the mistakes and take a new approach, a fresh approach, to move into the next frontier of sustainable urban development. So I really see this opportunity as a leadership opportunity for India to be the next global leader on sustainability for cities and for city building. So that's one of the key opportunities I think that exists right now at this particular moment in time for India.